Yes.
These are the people, even when they are cheating with somebody's husband, it's not difficult for them to call the wife and tell the wife, I'm the one busy.
Busy with
Can you make room? Because I'm busy.
Yeah.
Definitely it means the application favors me than you. It's not a normal behavior. It's that those almost similar to antisocial. They like to engage in bullying, fighting, starting fires, those children who can smash the cars, all its windows.
With no reason.
No remorse. No part of them feels there's anything wrong with it. Mental health speaking, this child could even come home proud to express that I managed to destroy all the windows in the car. I took the bat and it really worked. I destroyed all the windows. But usually it follows an episode of anger.
Good day, viewers. Welcome to another episode of Intimate Conversations with Issa Favored, where we get to talk about life and things that affect us on a day-to-day basis. And we know that as human beings, we are relational beings. We get to relate with people. And as we relate with people, sometimes we find ourselves wondering, Mara, what is going on with this person? Why is this person like this and all that? So, and then you get to realize that there's issues of personality. So today we're just going to be looking at some types of personality disorders that people may be living with, just to help us to understand those that are around us and to help us maybe to be a little bit kind where we need to offer kindness. And you know that I don't know these things. I just see these things and I get experts to come and talk to us. I have our regular, you know her by now. She's very familiar, Pastor Gertrude Gininda, who will then try and help us to unpack these issues. You are welcome. You are welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for another day with your viewers and your highly favored self.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time and the honor. Yes. Greetings to everybody.
And thank you for agreeing to take time out from your busy schedule and say, let's help people get to understand these issues. Yeah. So today we are going to be looking at two types of disorders.
Yes, please.
Where we said, of all of them, let's try to zoom in on antisocial personality disorder. Yes. And we're also going to be looking at obsessive compulsive disorder.
Thank you so much.
Because I think like your narcissistic personality disorder, OCD, you hear a whole lot of people, the OCD is so thrown around without, of course, proper diagnosis, but we diagnose ourselves and people diagnose others. So we'll try and unpack that. But let's start with the antisocial personality disorder. It is a mental disorder.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Let's try to unpack it from your side and then we'll take it from there.
Thank you so much. Yeah. In fact, I think our generation is blessed to have someone like you who can think outside the box on their observations and understand that there's a need to have these observations addressed correctly. For example, the issue of antisocial personality disorder. When we look at personality disorders, we look at the foundations that form a person's personality. Where we say somebody has this personality, the combination will be their conduct, the way they think, even coming to the way they interact, as in social relations, talking, personal relations, family relations, community relations. So these people have the tendency to manifest in ways that unsettle either the close people to them, as in family members, or the extensions as we go out even into the community. So we have said for the longest time that when somebody doesn't have friends, somebody doesn't go to parties, somebody is not all wow out there, we've said no, this person is antisocial.
Yes, yes.
But the psychiatric and the mental health classification of an antisocial personality disorder, people will be shocked. It has more to do with criminal ideation, the tendency to engage in activities that may end up being forbidden by law.
By law. Okay. So I like that. I like how you started, where you say, let's take out the usual common description of antisocial.
Yes.
The fact that I'm not out there. Others, it could be you're an introvert, or you're not even an
Yes.
introvert, but you choose to keep your own space.
Yes.
It doesn't mean you are. It's not the mental description of antisocial.
Correct.
It could be the English.
Yes.
Yeah, English description of antisocial.
Yes.
But when we're talking of it as a personality disorder,
In mental health.
in terms of mental health, then it has a different meaning. And you were saying that it will start to probably manifest from an early age.
It's one of the disorders that show themselves in childhood.
Okay.
For example, as a child grows, they have a disorder which we call the conduct disorder. And as they grow past teenagehood into early adult, the conduct sort of gets distorted because now we expect a certain level of responsibility, a certain level of accountability, but we don't get it from this person.
Okay.
Look at such behaviors such as mugging.
Okay. Maybe before we get to that, let's take a step back.
Okay.
You say when a child grows before they get to teenagehood, where now you expect the differentiation between right and wrong
Yes.
to be clear in
Yes.
terms of that. So it's conduct. You said it's conduct disorder.
Conduct disorder.
It's normal. Are you saying it's a bit normal? It's expected of a child or what? Or
No, it's
it is
still a disorder,
It's a disorder.
but it's for children.
Okay. What
Yeah.
kind of behavior would you see in that child to say this is a conduct disorder?
Is that those almost similar to antisocial? They like to engage in bullying,
Okay.
fighting, starting fires,
Okay.
those children who can smash the cars, all its windows.
With no reason.
No remorse. No part of them feels there's anything wrong with it. Mental health speaking, this child could even come home proud to express that I managed to destroy all the windows in the car. I took the bat and it really worked. I destroyed all the windows.
Okay.
But usually it follows an episode of anger.
Okay.
And
So it doesn't they don't just do it. Something will have happened.
Yes.
Maybe for an example, and I'm trying to think of examples so that maybe without causing unnecessary fear on parents, but also to say be aware of these things.
Yes.
So you are saying a child that will find themselves bullying other kids.
Yes.
Wherever they are, when kids are playing, they want to bully, they want to...
Introduce chaos, friction. They stretch the norms of society. Society says, if you have a lollipop, we share.
We share.
Those are the ones that want to find out, what if I don't want to share? What if I don't want to play with her? What if I don't want her to come to my house? Sometimes the things that they engage with or on can endanger the life of the other child.
Other children.
But because we are before 18, usually it is said to be it's still the formative years. There's the likelihood that the child may be formed correctly.
Now, speaking of that, the role then when as a parent you begin to see these things. Because sometimes you hear parents but say, Lona vele akafuni ukukhudwa. Ungamkhuta, you know, sometimes when a child you're trying to discipline them and then they shrug their shoulders, then they do this, they do these things. And then as a parent, you like, also vele. I think those are things that we need to, because we are forming.
Yes.
The child needs to know that when you've done something wrong, there's consequences.
Thank you.
We're not going to let it go. Because
Thank you.
last time when we had our conversation, you were saying that children like boundaries.
Yes.
They need to know.
They thrive in an environment with boundaries. It forms their identity. It develops their self-worth.
So when you as a parent then you see these things and you ignore them, or we kind of applaud them that they don't want to be disciplined, they don't want to, we may be enhancing or
Enabling. Yes, enabling. You're correct, Sis Nomsa. Because they don't know, or they lack the insight, or they lack the capacity to distinguish that I have violated a norm. That information needs to be built into them, that you have violated a norm. No, look at our African culture. You know how we were raised.
Yes.
Before development,
Before life happened.
before we had, we could call ourselves able to do things.
Yeah.
The African child was dished food in one basin, and all the children would have to go and share from that one basin.
Yes.
I personally didn't like the mass one. You know, the sour milk one. I personally did not like that one. I could share the pap and everything.
But mustn't you share
The mass, no, that one, it didn't go well. So that's where we're teaching the child. In this instance, we want you to share. In this instance, your individuality does not matter. You are part of a clan.
Yes.
And as a clan, this is how we're eating. As the peers, this is how we're eating.
Yes.
And then everybody knows how to engage, how much to go in,
And
how many times should you go in. Then, as a parent, if you notice that this child, in anger, maybe it was a pap and meat situation. You know how we grew up. The strong one
take your piece
and keep it,
and
then continue with the pap and soup. So in anger over that,
Yes.
a child could pick soil and throw into the food. What the family decides to do about that shapes
this child.
Yes. If the family says, oh, well, there's another pot of pap. Oh, well, there's another pot of soup. It's never embedded in the child's mind that there has been a violation.
And when there's a violation, there's consequences.
Thank you, Ma. If we miss the two connections, we are going on, we'll end up with somebody that is antisocial. These are the people who are mugging everybody. These are the people who are hijacking everybody. When you ask yourself, how does it come about that a young person does not have empathy for an elderly lady, to shove an elderly lady and grab a bag? You look, how did this person develop? Yes, for us as mental health practitioners, we know that there's definitely a problem somewhere.
Yeah.
Something happened somewhere.
Yeah.
You don't lose your values of Ubuntu. Just. No, you don't.
Oh. Yeah. So I think what I'm picking up, and every time we have conversation with you on these mental health issues, what continuously comes up, it's the home foundational environment.
Thank you.
How critical it is.
Yes, ma'am.
And the formative stages that we make sure. Because I'm thinking now, you know, as you're talking, the example that you've just made of throwing, then you realize that as you get older, in the workplace, you have these people that have got no regard for all other people. We've spoken about narcissistic, and I was saying to you before we started that when you look at antisocial personality disorder, it's related
to narcissism.
Yes. Because then these people, it's all about them. They will cause rau.
Yes.
Just because they can and all that. Gandhi, the foundation also.
Yes, and the small line of differentiation, Sis Nomsa, as we have gone into the NAS and the antisocial. The narcissistic may be that thinking they are God, they landed from somewhere.
Yes.
Everybody must worship them.
Yeah.
The small differentiation, the narcissist is not likely to engage in a criminal behavior. The antisocial will not hold back.
Okay.
If what they need demands, they put off somebody, they do away with competition, as you are saying, workplace.
Yes.
They bully you in the workplace, and they don't mind. They don't fear what you would fear. Let's come even relationally, maritally.
Yes.
These are the people, even when they are cheating with somebody's husband, it's not difficult for them to call the wife and tell the wife, I'm the one busy.
Busy with
Can you make room? Because I'm busy.
Yeah.
Definitely it means the application favors me than you. It's not a normal behavior. It's not.
Okay.
That is your antisocial. Because society has norms.
That must be adhered
to. Norms. You can even go as far as looking at the dress codes.
Okay.
The cultural dress codes.
Yes.
And how they relate. That's when we know we're dealing with somebody with antisocial tendencies who will need correct assessment, of course. I'm sorry to say, but I don't see minis in a funeral.
Yes. No. Everything has got its own place. Everything has got its own place. You can wear whatever, and it is appropriate for that particular place.
Yeah. Hence, we talk about observing of social norms.
Yes.
You are antisocial because you don't embrace the norms, the values, the principles that have been set that allow us to interact as human beings.
And I think when you talk about that, and as you've gone to dress code, there's one person that comes to mind, and I'm not even going to mention their names just to know. What for me then becomes sad or whatever is that they will always have cheerleaders. And when they have these cheerleaders on this wrong behavior that does not observe norms, it enables them to continue because then they don't see any wrong.
Yes, it's petrol.
When at home they were never, the line was not drawn. Then they grow up, and as they grow up, then they have this societal cheerleaders that will continue. So it perpetuates this behavior.
Definitely. Our country is in trouble because there's a higher statistic of these antisocial behaviors, antisocial personality disorders being applauded as being outspoken, on point, not taking nonsense.
Yes,
this
the
person
no-nonsense
doesn't
kind
take,
of people.
Yes. What nonsense are we talking about actually? Which part is the nonsense? Is it the part where we say you can't talk to an adult in this fashion?
Yes.
It doesn't matter how wrong the adult is. Sorry.
I was saying that to somebody, I think in the week, where I was saying to them, you see, how you deliver a message, whether the person has wronged you or not, how you tell them, it's critical. Now you have these people that are, that is why I'm saying your antisocial really and narcissism, they are so closely related because it has to be about them. Everyone must listen to them. No understanding of boundaries and all that. As long as they see it as this color, it's blue, it doesn't matter who says what.
You move your world to accommodate me, but I'm never willing to move a finger to accommodate you.
Sure. One of the things also in terms of the antisocial, I think what I've read up is that they also lie a lot.
Yes. Hence, they border a lot on the criminal behaviors. You know, I also am avoiding to name names, but as a country in South Africa, we know we're dealing with a situation of a highly educated person and a sort of, I don't know whether it's educated or not.
Yes.
How did this one miss the thinking capacity to understand that what I'm being recruited for is criminal,
It's criminal.
in behavior. How did it's because I was dealing with somebody antisocial, the manipulation, the lies, and the intelligence.
Yeah, ne?
Yeah, they have.
Because when you go to that example that you're making, surely for somebody to achieve such academically achieve the way that they have,
Yes, they're brilliant.
and then they come and they are manipulated and they are made to akuhlangani,
Khona ungahambanga kahle.
khona okungahamba.
Yes.
So, and I'm also then, and because then that's what I'm trying to in my head to say, when you find yourself in a relationship with somebody like that, you are in trouble.
Definitely. In trouble mentally, you are in trouble spiritually, because all of the norms and the values that have been built up to make us a civilized nation or a civilized people, this partner is not taking heed of them, doesn't consider them. This is the partner that would not have a problem with throwing insults at your mother. You see now? You see the antisocial now? It's not about going to parties or not going to parties.
Yes.
It's about how can a nice, beautiful young lady throw insults
Yes.
at the mother of the guy that she claims to
To love. How does that work?
The maths is not medicine.
No, it doesn't.
Because if you treasure the guy, you treasure the mother.
And everyone else around
And
them.
everyone else. But now, this is the part where it's critical for every people intending to be in love to take their time and consider what is it that they say they are loving.
Forget the butterflies. Butterflies.
Let them settle.
Let them settle.
Allow them to settle. Calm down.
Calm down. I always say that when I talk to young ones, and I'm like, hey, do not be misled by butterflies. Because butterflies, after 2 months, 3 months, they disappear. Then
Yes.
the reality, this is what you have to.
You'll be so shocked how much the percentage of antisocial people are good looking.
Yes.
And are smart dressers.
Yes. Smell good.
Because they know the game.
They know.
They master the game very well.
Very well.
And then that criminal intent where they don't mind having somebody murdered to achieve a mission.
A mission.
They don't mind to have somebody lied about. These are the ladies, our colleagues, our sisters, our cousins, who have claimed to be made pregnant by somebody.
Yeah.
Whom they can't even know their color when they are naked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
In your mind, you'd say, how would I arrive there?
There.
How would I continue to claim and say, yeah, this baby is belonging to Z. And I don't even know anything about him.
About the person.
That's antisocial behavior, classic.
You know, I'm actually thinking now because, No. And I'm trying to be, because I want to have this conversation later on.
Yes.
When I'm thinking of how many women, when you're talking about our sisters now, and I hope it is received the way I'm trying to.
It comes from your heart.
Yes. I know of a lot of women who have been robbed of their pension money, of their hard-earned savings by our brothers from outside of the country who have come for one purpose, to make money out of the desperation for love for our women.
Yes.
Because they know that it is wrong.
Yes.
And yet they go and they convince you. Will that also form part of that kind of a person?
They have antisocial personalities, yes. Because a normal human being without these disorders would have weighed the measure of destruction, the measure of betrayal, the measure of pain that activity would cause on your life?
Because they lure our sisters. Somebody will be with you for a year.
Isn't just a game, Lezo. They don't mind. They beat their time. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years.
Really making you believe that they
This
are
is
so
it.
into you.
Yes.
And in the process, they also isolate you
Yeah.
from people. They because they are working on you mentally to make sure that by the time they strike, you have no one around you.
You won't know the venom.
So they really, I know of people that they have gone and I think somehow they target corporate ladies or people that are working for government, and then they get you to go and resign.
Yes, and you are in love.
And you are so in love, you have
will
hope, you
resign.
believe, and people go and resign, and my mind struggles to reconcile that. Honestly, uhambe and you go and you resign, and then this person has told you we're gonna start a business with your money, and then you go to the bank yourself, and you put in notice, because you know that at the bank when you are withdrawing above a particular amount, you must put notice. You don't get it today.
No.
And then you take your 500,000, your 600,000 that you've worked hard for years, it's supposed to take care of you at retirement, and you withdraw it and you put it in a bag, and you give it to this person.
Let us do the maths of this antisocial.
Yes.
Violated human norms. So this person is not a human being. It's just a cash cow.
Yeah.
It's my transaction. They must separate themselves from the idea of being human, because it's inhumane.
It is.
The pain that will be inflicted is inhumane. People have gone crazy. People have suffered stroke. People have died. And when you are there with the money.
Move on to the next target.
The social norms. Why do you engage in a relationship when you know it is not genuine?
Yes.
You see the lies.
The lies there.
You see the fake personality that they project.
Because I think it takes a lot. I always say, for me, I'm saying it takes a lot. It will take a lot to pretend to love a person and put in the effort of calling them and
remembering their birthdays
and taking them out. When you know that I actually don't love you, I'm after this one thing.
I have a mission.
You're not normal.
You're not. You're not. And we spoke of human values, social norms, whereby I know most of the women that suffered from this scam had children.
Yes.
How do you delete the children of these women?
In your head and on the whole picture.
Yeah, just delete that they are not existent. Their mother is a idiot. Sorry to use that word.
Yes.
She can't think properly.
Because some of them, they actually go to an extent of drawing closer to the children. Because remember, it's your bae. So Niatandana, you probably will introduce them to the kids, and then, so it's, now you must come back and tell the kids that malume or that boyfriend of mine has now robbed me.
Yeah.
As you no longer have a home,
Inheritance.
or you have whatever that they may have taken away from you.
Thank you. I think you have done a full breakdown of an antisocial personality disorder.
Sure.
Because robbing somebody of shelter, basic needs, basic salary.
Yes.
Remember, as you have said, the targeted woman was pensioning, so it's no longer the ideal market candidate. Even in private hospitals, let's say it's a nurse, are looking for nurses, she's last on the queue because of age. Age has come with other stories. Even myself, I have a knee story now. Knees, back,
all those issues,
hypertension and everything. But the person with when you say it's anti-social, is the unwillingness to be embedded within social functions as a person.
As a person,
So they are willing to break every law
to
every
get
rule,
what they want.
to get what they want and live their life and have their way. In marriage, these are the ones that your bank card is not asked for, it's demanded.
You give it to they stay. They basically go and work, but they decide what they're gonna do
Oh
with your
my
money.
word! Where would I be?
Hey,
I feel like ice cream. I must call somebody and
and
report.
ask them to say "Ngicela imali ice
Ice
cream,"
cream.
and they ask you why.
It's so cold. What do you want to
Why
do with ice
and
cream?
there's times we want customer when it's cold. This. Besides, I go to work. I'm the one who wakes up and deal with a whole lot of stress, work stress, and then somebody must decide how then I must use my money.
Because I wasn't able to see there's an antisocial personality disorder at play.
And I think they also probably make you believe that you can't live without them.
Of course.
They play on you mentally and make you believe that really without them you just cannot
The
survive.
world revolves around you being with them. So we also have antisocial tendency being displayed at the workplace.
Yes.
Bosses, subordinates, as you have said, the tag of telling me,
Yes.
the tag of telling me that you are busy, I should come back at another opportunity.
Time, yes.
I remember I was exposed to such a leader at some stage. Every Monday morning, you didn't know what to expect.
Okay.
Some day you open the door to greet, okay, it's fine, hello, come in. Some days you just open the door and say, get out of my office.
Oh my
Get
God.
out. So you stand there, you say, what
What
happened?
have I done?
What happened?
Yes. What have I done? Like, how did we get here?
You rush and close the door, you stand outside and you look at others and say, so,
But livalile.
who messed up?
Livalile.
Who messed up? When did they mess up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the personality disorder is showing up on top of the qualifications and the degrees and
all because this person, for them to get to a level of where they are
had
supervisor,
to have something.
they have
But the something is now disturbed by the personality disorder.
order. Oh, yeah. May we be helped, really. Okay, I want us to step on. Can it be treated? The antisocial
Psychotherapy.
psychotherapy. Okay.
Psychotherapy and the etiology. You know, we remember in psychiatry when we say etiology, we are saying we're looking for the root cause.
Okay.
What is the root cause of this behavior?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the repair comes very late via the correctional services department
For some,
Yes,
hey?
because look, even those simple criminal behaviors, like your people who steal at the shops. By the way, those who look for they want to match their friends and wear the classy dresses
and all that.
that their friends are wearing. So they go and steal at the shop. So sometimes the therapy will come secondary to
Yes.
having been arrested.
Yes.
But yes, psychotherapy can help.
Okay. Okay. So, I think we've touched on earlier on to say when you are at the formative stages, the parents then have a role to play to try and help, and for at an adult stage, because I also imagine it can't be that easy to tell a person that I think you need to.
Yeah.
How then, when you see that there is that, how would you then help the person just to steer them towards you need assistance? How best can a person assist when you see that? Lana can be kahle la.
Yeah, it's difficult. It would take somebody very close.
Okay.
Yes, because I remember in the pastoral role, I think I've encountered such a problem where I had to help a couple in marriage where the woman was saying, this guy doesn't listen to anybody. I had to start counting. Is there a family person that at least he respects?
Yes.
Is there a church person that he looks up to? When you have observed that when we're talking about Bra so and so, he shines, he lights up. Then you can call Bra so and so. Who will be the one to say, but Bra, we are missing it? You're missing it, bruh. It's not supposed to move like that. It's supposed to move this way. Is there somebody in his own family, his own uncle, his own mamkulu, his own whoever that he is close to his heart, when they sit them down and say, Ntanam, I'm heartbroken,
Then or everything else, yes.
settles. It can't just be anybody at any time.
Okay. All right. I think we can close this one.
Thank you.
It's just there's so much, but yeah. I think we've tried to create awareness so that
Yeah.
people can then. We are no longer calling people antisocial because they don't want to go to parties.
No.
No, they are not. They just, it's their choice.
It's their personality trait, but not antisocial.
Social. Cool. Okay, let's move to the next one, which is obsessive compulsive personality disorder. The other day, my own son was telling me, Mama, I don't know if you've noticed I have OCD. And I looked at him, I was like, hey, listen to him. I don't like things when they're sitting like this. I prefer things to sit like this. And I was like, I simply attaching the diagnoses that are just not that. So let's talk OCD. What is OCD?
Okay.
Yeah,
thank
before, because people are diagnosing themselves when they are not OCD.
you. Yeah. But for the majority, they are enlightened.
Okay.
They have a little bit of a clue. Though it is a secondary disorder
Okay.
from anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah, the person usually is troubled by anxious thoughts on a specific matter. And then in order to settle the anxiety, then they engage in these unconscious, repetitive behaviors to try and calm down the anxiety.
Okay. No.
They are friends. You don't become OCD not being anxious of something.
Okay. Okay. There's manje sicala do
You
we
are
start on the
anxious,
anxiety?
yes.
Okay, so there's something that is causing you to be anxious.
Yes.
Okay. And because of that, to distract yourself, is it a coping
Correct.
mechanism
Yes.
from this anxiety?
Yes.
Then you start doing these other things.
Thank you.
Okay.
For example, I know of a client who was reported in the psychiatric registers of being anxious of burning her house down. It's a phobia and a fear that rules her life, that she might burn her house down. Ne? So what does she do to ensure that she doesn't run the risk of burning the house down? She must switch off the lights, the stove, everything 10 times and check that they've been off. Switch them off, go out of the gate, drive somewhere, stop, come back, and check the very plugs again and drive off. But somewhere along the way, she says, no, they were not correct, goes back until at a certain stage where she says, no, but now I think the lights are off and she can drive off. That is the trait that you pick up, that the disorder affects the person's normal functioning.
Because I'm listening, I'm thinking, sure. So the person will...
That like that. How many times? Will they arrive for work?
They'll be late.
They'll be late. The person is afraid of a particular space.
Okay.
That at one time maybe is a germaphobe. You know, the people who are scared of germs. So at a particular door to the office, at some stage when they passed, there was some murky, dirty stuff there. It's OCD when that person decides ever since never to use that door again. It doesn't matter how close to their office
Entrance is.
Yeah, so it will take the long route to avoid that door. So there is that repetitive behavior that even affects normal functioning. Normal daily functioning. Okay. Like the people who must brush their teeth 20 times before they are convinced that they are clean.
Back on?
Yes. It's debilitating.
I can imagine.
It's hard, it's painful. There are those who wash their hands until they bleed.
Because they,
They still believe their hands are not clean.
and I'm sure COVID, with COVID, it made it even worse.
Thank you. Thank you. I thought I would throw it in. I'm glad you pick it up.
Because when you talk about that, then I'm thinking, this person will, until,
And so the phobia and the anxiety about getting a disease does not only affect them, it will also affect the people, the children around them. And you see, we OCD, we are obsessive and we are compulsive. We wish to stop, but there are things that make us not to be able to stop.
Is it, okay, because I want to help. You have these people that are saying, I know I was talking to somebody, we were talking and they were like, no, you see in my wardrobe, whites, things must be, will that form part of OCD?
Definitely. What's wrong with putting red there?
They can't survive.
You know, as part of therapy, that's what the therapists do. That's the exercise that we call sensory desensitization.
Okay.
Yeah, desensitization of the patient. From this, they always want white to go white.
Yes. Even the length must be, so you cannot have long and what. They just cannot survive.
So in a controlled environment, the therapist would put a blue there and say, open your wardrobe and just check for me, there's a shirt I need. And they'll throw a tantrum and a fit because the white has been disturbed. And the therapist want to find out, why do you want your world so organized?
So structured, yes.
Why should your world be so organized? What disturbed you? When did that happen?
Okay, so the cause, because I think you are going to the cause for something would have triggered it.
Yes.
It's not like the person was just born like that.
From, as we spoke earlier, which I appreciated very much, the role of family. Being raised by somebody with obsessive compulsive disorder, I'm likely to suck the behavior from that person. You know, I must always be prim and proper, even when I'm going to play. I don't know how I'm going to play.
And that's what I was saying. The other day, jokingly, someone was saying to a child, no, a lady doesn't, I'm like, she's 5.
Wait a bit.
She's 5.
Please
when did we get to lady?
Please breathe.
Like, she's a 5-year-old. Can a 5-year-old be a 5-year-old before we start instilling lady? Of course, a child must still be able to sit. Mara, a child must play. I always say, I love the advert Omo long ago, but because a child must be a child and an experience before
we're developing a disorder where the child doesn't know how to walk barefoot in the rain, where the child doesn't understand the issue of other children being dirty.
Yes.
You take the child to visit the village, sees the village children being dirty, stands like this, can't play with the village children. And that thing goes on and on. We've formed it. We have now structured her or him to be like that. And it's a difficult partner to have in marriage.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So the causes, amongst the causes, it will be because you were raised by someone like that.
Yes.
Any other cause?
Trauma.
Because I'm just thinking, when I'm thinking that the one who was raised also was probably raised and was, so it is a generational thing
yes.
that will have trauma. Okay.
Being exposed to an event that is beyond your age to relate. Like childhood trauma. We go to things of sexual assault as a child, where the child will grow up having the OCD with their self being extremely clean. They need to be extremely bathing
Yes.
or frequently bathing.
Because when they were violated, they felt dirty.
Yes.
So they need, it's like they can probably still smell
Yes.
that. So they need to take it out of them.
Unawares, it grew. It became an obsession. Unawares, unconsciously, as you have said, as a coping mechanism, they now know that there's a need for me to 2 hours I must bath. 2 hours I must get a bath. 2 hours I must cleanse and change. Yeah, we're now at that stage. Also, the other possible cause when they experience sickness as a child and were frequently hospitalized, that's where the germaphobe
Comes
up, where they identify that there's this situation that had a tendency to separate me from my parents, where I found myself in this unfamiliar place with people injecting me
And
left and right. And I learned that it was because of germs. How do I stop germs? You wash your hands.
You avoid this, you avoid this, you avoid this. Sure. Okay. So much to take in.
Sorry.
So much to take. And I think one of the things that it said is that they have a rigid belief and specific ways of doing things. They are unable to compromise for other people.
Yes.
It has to be.
Exactly. If it's the way the table they want it set like that, they have their preferred sitting place, they have their preferred utensils. Their world must always be like that. You see, it's a coping mechanism. You can see that there's something that didn't go well.
Well,
What happens when you're in the mall? Those are the people where they avoid malls.
okay.
They avoid crowded places sometimes. They avoid being in a situation where they'll have to share things, share a bed, share bathroom facilities. They don't trust that the other people are clean enough.
For them to be to use the same.
Yes.
So this person will then probably isolate themselves.
Yes.
At his worst.
Yeah.
The person will just live this lonely, isolated life because they don't trust how other people are going to.
The late Michael Jackson is an extreme example of OCD. He was a germaphobe to the point he was the first guy to wear a mask.
Before mask.
Yeah,
other than those who are in theater, outside that, yes.
No, he thought other people would infect him with what they've got. He's okay, he's healthy. Other people have problems.
I wasn't sure whether it was part of COVID. The other day at work, I met the ladies, and then this lady also comes out. Now she's got a tissue that she's gonna open the tap with. So she opens the tap, she puts the tissue, she washes her hands. So I was very interested to see. After you wash the hands, how are you gonna close then she takes that one, she closes. And then she goes and takes the one from the paper towel to and unfortunately, because I didn't want to wait, I wanted to see how is she going to open the door. Because I'm not sure whether she took that one to open the door and she was going to throw it in the bin. And I was like, that's extra.
Yes, it takes a lot of work.
It is.
To sustain the OCD. It takes a lot of work for the patient, the sufferer. You see, the client who has the disorder, even the people close to them. The person who's going to remind you on the way, did you switch off the stove? But you are on our way to Skukuza. Are you sure the stove is switched off?
Yes.
So we must make a turn.
Because if you can't make a turn, then everything will be messed up.
Yes. Come back, see the stove is switched, the fridge is off, everything, the lights are off. In fact, we put the whole system down.
I'm also thinking of in the workplace, if you find yourself with a supervisor like that,
word.
Because then it means even how you do,
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
I can imagine that it must be painful.
You forget a T or the line on a T, the document will come back.
Will come back.
The document will come back.
And for those of us who are in government, you know how many signatures you get in a document?
For the document to come back.
To come back, and it turns on the second last when it has passed all these other signatories.
Then
and
it comes
gets
to the
this
OCD one.
one who is after 3 signatures. And it must come back because all these other people will have missed that.
It's not a critical matter.
It doesn't change the
world
price of
doesn't
bread.
Stop. Thank you.
The price of bread remains that price.
With or without a T, who knows that we're talking about robots and we forgot to put a T. It doesn't change the logic in the sentence.
It doesn't.
It's not altered. But okay, all right.
And that will take you another 2 weeks to process that which needs to be processed because this person just had to return it for that.
And excessive disciplinary measures I've picked up also for children.
Yes.
Because I've noticed that when they've been so excessively disciplined,
yes.
the children become like that. And because they are children, they are honest. They will not hide the fact that they've been made to believe that only Papa's way is correct.
Is correct.
Or because Papa tells even Mama that you didn't do it right. So, like me, I'm a grandmother now. And my grandchildren, sometimes I pick up and say, oh my word, I want to peel an orange. They say, Grandma, not like that. It must go like this. And then I'm like, oh my word, do you know that I raised him with the oranges being peeled?
The way that I'm feeling. So this new way, it's...
Yeah, it's taxing. There's a good side of it that I'm enjoying. The fact that they are ordered, they have a pattern of doing things. But there's the other side that disturbs me to say, oh, Batung, you are not going to enjoy your childhood.
Yeah.
You see, we had snow. People went out to play in the snow. There are some families where people were told, nobody's going out.
It's too cold, it's what?
Watch the snow from the window. It's still snow.
And it deprives the children of
childhood.
The innocence of childhood. The innocence of childhood.
It's very innocent to hold the snow and know that it's cold.
I'm still saying that shame. I could not go and play in the snow because Nelspruit we don't get snow, and I was swamped at work. I could not go and see it at the long-term pass. But I really would have loved to go and play in the snow and
make a snowman
and build a snowman. I wanted to do that. Yes. And other kids, as you say, they were around that, but they could not have that opportunity to do that.
Definitely. So we OCD thoughts with recurrent thought patterns and recurrent manners of thinking that must go in that line. We OCD with speech.
Okay.
Yes, I have noticed sometimes I laugh because maybe it's not fair for me to laugh. It's bad. It becomes what we call in mental health a mannerism.
Okay, yes.
Because this person doesn't finish a sentence without saying, okay, and da 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 da. They are talking to you, but they are okaying themselves again.
Because there's so many conversations in their head.
In their mind, yes. We OCD with the way we prepare food, the way we serve food, the way we want to enjoy our food. Some people who can never take a meal that demands them to eat it while walking. They will never do that. Never. Never forget.
Because they must sit down.
They must sit down and be in the proper space. Sleeping patterns.
Sleeping?
Yes. I can't sleep in a crowded place. If it's crowded and I have no option, I'll go and sleep in my car.
Sure. Because then it disturbs your normal life. The way you want your things then ends up disturbing.
Yes.
That's why then it becomes a disorder.
Yes. That's the minute you are unable to function normally on your own, it's a disorder. The minute this disorder disturbs your relations in the house. It's beginning to tick the boxes of classification under disorders. Because you are a social being. If people are unable to live with you the way you want things to be done, people must sleep at 8. Even your guest in your house must sleep at 8.
I can imagine visiting someone like that.
They don't take later hours for sleeping. Here in my house, we sleep at 8.
It's my way on the highway.
Yes, and we OCD also in the manner of which we run our affairs.
Okay.
Hence, we're talking of this lady. Before she goes to work, she must make sure that the stove is off. Because the anxiety that she has to do with burning the house down.
And probably if you trace back, then you may find that it is because growing up, either a neighbor's house burnt down or something happened. Therefore, at home, it was like, you must make sure, you must make sure.
Yeah.
And then this child...
It got embedded in the psyche. Her mind recorded that fire is dangerous and you must do all you can to stop it. Yes.
Sure.
So many of these OCDs.
And of course, treatment will be psychotherapy.
Desensitization.
And the desensitization
is done by psychotherapists.
In
a conducive environment where they'll be able to sedate if the person is thrown off kilter to the point that they start to have other symptoms, hallucinate, get confused because their world is being altered.
Does it get to that level?
Yes, where there are serious things that they want them the way they want them. If they are changed, they get disoriented to say, where am I? Why are things happening like this? And they lose themselves.
Sure. Okay. Didn't know that it can get that serious.
Yeah, we start from the simple to the medium and to the gross. That's the extreme. Where it may actually need hospitalization, where the person will be slowly made to understand it is normal. Like we were talking, there are some people who have never touched mud because of OCD of cleanliness, because of being a germaphobe.
Yes.
So being in an institution where they'll be brought mud
to touch it,
and maybe in an art class,
and
be made to do
maybe play dough first, and then gradually.
Look how simple that game is.
Yes.
Look how that game children are exposed to it at crèche.
Yes, because it is also some your fine or your gross motor skills that are also developed there.
But because you were told that is dead, you are not supposed to touch it, you hardly have an idea how mud feels like.
That's been deprived of life. Sure. Okay. I think my mind is just baffled. There's just I didn't think it gets so bad.
Yes.
I didn't think it can get to that level. So I think I'm just taking in so much in my head. I'm like,
some people can't drive, sis Noms. They've got money and cars, but the fear of accidents that makes them to get into obsessively, compulsively disorder that on the road they may drive 10.
No, I actually had a friend who had that.
10 kilometers per hour. Where are you going to go to?
I had a friend who she used to drive, and then I don't know what happened. She could not. Literally, she had to be dropped off at work and back at home. Now she started, but there was a time when she told me, I was like, she says, from my house to work, which is about less than 10 kilometers, it takes her more than an hour.
Thank you. Because she must do 10 kilometers on the road because
And she said I would hyperventilate and feel like things are closing down.
yes.
And
If I deviate, 1 is the speed, 2 is the route. You can't tell them there's a
change
shortcut.
route.
There's a shortcut if you go this way and that way. No.
has to
Structured.
be.
It must be structured.
Sure.
Imagine your life without being able to drive when you can.
When
We're
you
not
can.
talking medical.
It's all in the mind that then
Yes.
we need to, then person needs to find help so that they can, reprogramming basically.
Yes, thank you.
Reprogramming so that they can be able to enjoy the simplest things in life.
In life, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know. Anything else that you may have prepared
No,
in
I'm
terms
good.
in terms of this? You think we've covered everything?
Yes, the antisocial, we need the community to remember we are not talking about not going to a party, not having
Yes.
friends.
Yes.
We're talking about this conduct that has a tendency to violate all societal values, norms, principles, including the law violation.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure having you enlightened. I have learned. I am empowered also. I didn't know just how deep these things can be. So thank you so much for coming through.
My
It's
pleasure.
always, this is home for you.
I'm
This is home
honored.
for you. You know, I'll always be calling you and say, let's go this way now.
Yeah.
Now I think I want us to go this way.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to a friend of mine who, and I think it's one of the topics we'll touch on in the future, who is an overthinker.
Oh, my word.
And she says to me, I think things to a point that I end up crying because of the scenarios that I've created in my
See
head.
now?
I'm like, she says, I promise you, I will see this thing. And she was saying to me, once I get in there, pulling myself out, it's so difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's like one way, no way coming back.
Yeah. It's terrible.
She says,
She
I
gets in a maze.
She says, I cry. I literally, I'll find myself like crying because of something that I have created in my head of a possibility of it happening. So I would love for us to touch on that in the future. Because I think also it has got to do with some anxiety issues and all that. So we'll touch on that, because I was saying to you are aware that is a mental health that you need to see a professional. She says, no, I am aware because I realize now just how bad
It
it
affects
is.
my life.
My life.
Thank you. That's the reason, Mrs. Mams, I appreciate your show so much, because our people, or us Africans, we do think mental illness is not there.
Yes.
Or we want to see mental illness when somebody is eating from a dustbin.
Yes.
That's the only time when you say mental illness.
It's real.
Even there we say bamloile. But before we come to bamloile, can we look at what are the things that are going on with me, within me, that make me to come out and show in certain fashion.
Which is not normal.
Yes, because mental health means you are able to balance your things. Mental illness says you have failed to balance.
Okay.
Yes. We say you have OCD because cleanliness is next to godliness. It's a good thing to be clean, to be ordered, to be structured, to have a beautiful place, to look well after yourself. Look how beautiful you look. But it's a problem if it takes 80% of your life and your time.
You can't even function.
Yes.
The things that you're supposed to do, you can't do now because of this one thing that must be done in a particular way.
The meeting must stop if you're a boss because the hairstyle you went for, you don't think it's suitable. You are postponing the meeting.
So that you can go and fix this
the
one
other
thing.
people stopped everything for the meeting. You are postponing it.
The meeting for this
a
one
hairstyle.
thing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, because these are serious issues that we are dealing with, and I think we are becoming more and more enlightened. That is why we want to create awareness so that people can then be aware and not take these things lightly.
Thank you.
You've had it, viewers at home. We touched on the antisocial personality disorder. We also touched on OCD. If you know somebody that you see, more especially on the first one of the antisocial, don't try, if you're not close to them and don't try to diagnose them and tell them. Try to find somebody that they can listen to, so that they can then be able to get the help that they're supposed to get. And in terms of OCD, you can highlight in a gentle way that they will help, but also try to find somebody that they will listen to. Because something, when it comes from somebody that you trust, that you have a good relationship with, it helps. But when you see somebody, just be kind.
Yeah.
I think more than anything, let us just be kind.
Oh, yes.
People are going through so much. There's so much that is going on in life. People have gone through so much growing up, and we still are going through so much. So let us just be kind to people, so that they can then be able to get the help that they need. I want to believe that you have learned something. I want to believe that you will be able to be kind to other people. And if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Please click the notification button, so that when we post videos, you'll be able to get them. And share the video with others, so that people can learn and know what is happening around us. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.